Oh, man. I need that intro.
I, I heard you talking on Twitter,
No,
so
that's
getting a
okay.
bit jealous.
No, that's okay. Listen, we'll try and get it synced up, but I feel like what I'm trying to do here is hold on one second. I want to go and see what's going on with YouTube and with Facebook, because one of the things I was going to tell you, Mario, is I feel like we the feedback is I think it's important, and I haven't been able to get the feedback from people. So what was in the Periscope days, it was so much simpler because I could just go. Hold on one second. I'm just opening up YouTube, and then I'm going to go to Facebook. But with Periscope, I could just start looking and start going, and then the feedback would come up. And sometimes it would be a little distracting and disruptive. But I always kind of preferred it. So now on Facebook, you're saying it's running on both John Dennis Report and John Dennis for Congress.
Yes, that's correct.
And which one tends to get a little more activity?
The Jandanes report one.
Oh, okay. So I guess I got to click on that. Hold on. Let me put this. Yeah. Okay. A little more activity there. Okay. So now I can see kind of what's going on. Let me do this though, real quick, so I can see it side by side. It might be a little easier. There you go. Okay. And so people comment a little bit on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for joining us as we work through our technical stuff. I appreciate you joining the John Dennis Report. It's it's kind of an interesting day, and I got to tell you something. I like doing this, and I like spending some time with you because right now the Masters is on, and I'm spending time with you guys rather than watching the Masters and doing in the background while I do the rest of my work. So the affection is real, it's genuine, and I'm grateful that you're here. And so thanks for joining us. And there's just so many things going on. It's funny, I was listening to something this morning. They were talking about Joe Biden and how he is, how he's boring and it's, and he sort of is boring in the way that he promised that he would be. And I think that for the few people who he appealed to, he's probably doing exactly what he said he was going to do. That Trump was a little too much for a lot of people. A lot of people are not. They can't handle the sort of the beta personality, the aggressive personality of Trump. And to me, it's an interesting study in the human condition, because what Trump was fighting against to a large extent was the control that Washington has over the rest of the United States and over the rest of the country and much of the world. Sorry, I got something in my glasses I got to clean off. And he was fighting against that. Just bear with me. There it is. And people, it's so funny. People would rather have a personality that they can kind of relate to and connect with, a beta type personality like Joe Biden, dumb as a brick, and someone who restored what Trump disrupted, which is the Washington machine looting of the United States of America. And people are more comfortable with restoring power to Washington so that Washington can loot them than they are with someone who was interested in restoring some degree of power vested in the people. That's what Trump was about. I mean, he actually showed that government and the executive office in particular could have the American people's interest at heart. And and a lot of people just weren't used to that. They aren't used to that. We've been conditioned for so many generations to accept that that people are just worker ants. They're worker bees. They're ants serving the hierarchy. And I don't know. It's just funny because I'm not comfortable with that. And I think the people who came and founded this country, and the people who grew this country from coast to coast, weren't really interested in that. But we've been conditioned over the years to sort of accept it, and it's going to be sad. It's going to be a treasure lost when it's gone, if it goes. And one of the reasons why we do these kinds of these live streams is to sort of put a point of view out there that says that you do not have to accept this, this conditioning that we've had from Washington, from the mainstream media, from education, and that we could actually have a government that is actually responsive to the needs of the people, and also, more importantly, is primarily focused on protecting the rights of the individual. That's really what it's supposed to be about. Anyway, so all right. So moving on here. So can we start with that first clip? I want to pull up the one with Joe Biden. And by the way, Joe Biden was commenting today on gun shows, and I don't know. It's a short clip. By the way, there was a lot of stuff in this press conference about guns that was just completely idiotic and not true. But let's just listen to this first clip. This is really good.
Most people don't know it. You walk into a store and you buy a gun, you have a background check. This is to close the Charles. Most people don't know it. You walk into a store and you buy a gun, you have a background check. But you go to a gun show, you can buy whatever you want and no background check. Second thing is to close the Charles.
Good, stop it there.
Most people don't know it.
And if you don't mind, let's see if we can do the picture-in-picture thing too again. All right, Mario, on these other ones.
Sure thing.
Great, thanks. So, all right, anybody who's ever been to a gun show, have you been to a gun show? If you've been to a gun show, you know that what he just said is completely not true. It's beyond not true. And this is where the folks who want to restrict gun ownership really, show their true colors. They just simply don't know what they're talking about. And Biden supposedly, was, he's been so all over the map over the years in terms of gun restrictions. He said under Barack Obama, "We're not coming for your damn guns," but then he said that he was going to appoint Beto O'Rourke, who said, "We are coming after your damn guns." And here he just shows why he can't be taken seriously and credibly on this issue. So at the gun shows, there are no background checks. Well, there are background checks. Any commercial seller of guns is you're required to have a background check. It doesn't matter where you are, which state you're in. It's a requirement, and it's fulfilled. The exceptions, and these are small transactions, are in the case of antique guns and in the cases of when a private seller sells to another private seller. Now, those are usually small transactions where a few guns are sold here and there. And then we have, some circumstances where somebody might have a lot of guns and they sell a bunch of those guns to some individual. But that's kind of a rare thing, and there's no indication that any of those guns have ever been used to do like mass shootings or any of these other things. But the point is that here's a guy who's saying, he's either lying or just doesn't know what he's talking about. That if you go to a gun show, there's no background check, and that's just simply not true. By the way, also in that press conference, we don't have the clip, but you can look it up. It's online. He says that no amendment is absolute. No amendment is absolute. And he is actually trying to find a way to use executive orders to do an end run around the Second Amendment. Now, look, the gun lobby is very powerful in this country, and people feel a strong affinity for their guns, and there's going to be an enormous amount of pushback. But, these guys seem to be willing to do whatever they want, whenever they want. So, I don't know. We have an issue here. By the way, I just find it's also interesting. Joe Biden said that he was going to install Beto O'Rourke as the gun czar, the guy who's going to confiscate guns. We haven't heard from Beto, and we haven't heard Joe bring up Beto recently. But we'll see what happens there. By the way, watch tonight. I will guarantee you that Tucker Carlson will address this issue, because Tucker is a really strong. He's an outdoorsman, and he's a very strong Second Amendment guy, and he's going to go through this press conference of Joe Biden today and just ream him. So make a point of watching Tucker Carlson tonight on Fox. It'll be fantastic. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, which was the amazing. Let's go to AOC. Yeah, next. Go to your left. To your left. There you go. Thanks. Yeah. Let's do picture in picture with me if you can do that.
Yeah,
and then give me control. Is that how it looks? Oh, there you go. Thanks. Now to control this, so I actually go to the tweet. Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me one more second. So
yeah. Sure. Do your thing. So anyway, let me set this up. So AOC was talking to somebody about a human rights watch group, and talking about the conflict between Israel and Palestine, but was asking about what she thought about the Abrahamic Accords, the ones that where Donald Trump took a different approach to creating peace in the Middle East by having individual agreements set up between Israel and as many individual countries as he could, as opposed to trying to negotiate sort of a broad peace agreement there. So he starts asking her about this, and the response is astonishing. And I'm going to play this, but I'm going to preview this one thing. Sometimes one of the things I've learned being a candidate and being on the public stage is that people expect you to have an answer to everything, and they expect you to know everything. And it is an act in humility, and something that people don't want to generally admit. Either say that you don't have a strong feeling about it because you need to study the issue more, or just say you don't want to comment on it because you don't want to have an impact on on the future, or just do something where you tell someone, whoever is asking you this question, that you don't want to or are uncomfortable answering, that you're not going to answer the question because you don't feel like you're in a space to do that at the moment. Instead, what she does is I guess I can just say that the young person thing and sort of the arrogant thing, and she just starts babbling on. Okay, may I take over here?
Yes, you can.
Thanks. All right.
And the way that we are coming earlier just now
can be taken to support movements towards peace, both between Israelis and Palestinians, as well as within the entire region, such as the Abraham Accords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, earlier just now, you and I were talking about the what and the how.
You're gonna love this. Wait till you see what she does. This is awesome.
I think that when we talk about establishing peace, centering people's.
Hey, Mario, I'm watching on YouTube and on Facebook, and I don't see the picture in picture. Maybe, hold on one second. Maybe I do. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. Okay, let me continue. Go ahead.
Humanities, protecting people's rights. It's not just about the what and the end goal, which often gets a lot of focus, but I actually think it's much more about the how and the way that we are coming together and how we interpret that what and how we.
Okay, here we go. Now it's going to get worse from here. It's like already bad, right? But look at this guy's face while she's talking.
Act in the actions that we take to get to that what. And so what this really is about is that it's a question more than anything else about process. And so we really need to make sure that that we are valuing a process where all parties are respected and have, a lot of equal opportunity to really make sure that we are negotiating good faith, et cetera. That being said, I think that there's just this one central issue of settlements, because if the what that has been decided on is to state, then the action of settlements it's not the how to get to that what. And so, I think that that's a central thing that we need to make sure that we center, and that we value Jewish and rather we value Israeli. We value the safety and the human rights of Israelis. We value the safety and the human rights of Palestinians in that process that is similar and that on equal footing. And so all of that is extremely important in that process. And
what the hell did she just say? I've listened to that like 5 times, and she doesn't know what she's saying. She doesn't want. The problem is that she can't give credit to something that was done well during the Trump administration, and also she's in a weird spot because, she's in New York. She probably has a big Jewish constituency in her district, and if not, certainly in the surrounding districts, which could be problematic for her. But at the same time, the left absolutely despises Israel, and they just, they're pro-Palestinian. They're on the side of the Palestinians, and it's just, she's in a weird spot. She's babbling on instead of coming up with a clever response by saying something like, there are, new things coming up in this. In the negotiations, and I want to see what happens, and I don't really want to make too many comments on it. And I hope that the Abraham Accords are successful, that they actually hold, and we can build on that, like something simple like that, just to move on. But instead, she's got to be a know-it-all about everything, and just kind of babble on and on and on. And usually, I've got to say, I'm kind of a semi-fan of AOC's, in the sense that I think that she certainly knows how to get attention. I don't think she's dumb, by the way, by any stretch of the imagination. I think she's not terribly I don't think she's erudite, but more importantly, she's not terribly balanced in her understanding of politics and and political philosophy. And so, as a result, she doesn't really. She's got a very imbalanced way of approaching political problems, and I blame that, by the way, on indoctrination. She is still, trying to please her teachers. This is me doing a little mind reading, so bear with me. But my gut is that she's trying to still please the teachers who taught her, all of this indoctrination stuff. And as a father whose daughters going through school, I see it directly in private school. So imagine what it's like in public schools, where she apparently went up until college. So she's trying to balance all these different things, and it's an enormous struggle. And instead of bailing out by saying I don't want to address this, I've talked about this elsewhere, and I'm hoping that the Abraham Accords are successful, and then moving on. I mean, by the way, this gentleman is from the JCRC. And it says featuring members of the New York Congressional District. I'm sure JCRC is a Jewish group. And she knew this question was going to come up. Why did she take the interview? And why would she not be prepared if she decided to take the interview for this fundamental kind of a question? So, like I said, I'm kind of a fan of AOC's, but boy, she's got a long way to go, man. She's got a long way to go. I'm a fan in the sense that from a political point of view and that political talent point of view, that she's definitely got some skills. But, God, she's wild. I mean, it's to be expected. She's wildly immature and really is not challenging herself on any basic level. So anyway, I've got some other things I could say about her, but I'll just leave it at that. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to did I pull up the United thing? Oh, I didn't do that, did I? Hold on. Is the United tweet up? This is kind of my
I don't see it.
My big tweet for the day. Hold on one second. I'll pull it up. Give me a second here. So yesterday I get an email from United. Hold on one second. Let me have control.
Go ahead.
Thanks. Okay, there it is. Is this it? No, hold on. Hold on. That's not it. This is it. Okay. Again, let me have control. Don't take it yet. There it is. Yeah, that's it. So I'll pull it up. So, I got an email from United. Apparently, they put something out on Twitter the other day. And the email talks about, how proud they are of this new initiative they have. And it's pulling up right now. Okay. Yeah. Can you put that up?
Yep.
So, do people see it now? Yeah.
Yes, they can.
And by the way, I want to apologize to the people who are following on Twitter. 2 minutes. I'm going to have to jump off here really quickly. So listen, this is just kind of a simple thing. I mean, there's this saying I'm sure you've heard before: "Get woke, go broke." Every business that gets woke has problems. They end up going broke, right? And here we have a situation where United is virtue signaling again to the woke crowd, and they say they sent this email. Said last year we became the only major U.S. airline to own a flight school. And this week we announced we're going to train 5,000 new pilots by 2030, at least half of whom will be women and people of color. Now, my response was, how about you just hire the best pilots? Like, when by the way, I've flown a lot of miles years ago. I don't fly as much anymore, but years ago, because I did fly a lot, I hit the 1,000,000-mile mark on United. It's 1,000,000 miles flown, not bonuses, actual miles flown. I've flown a lot on this airline. And the truth is, I care about, number one, getting there safely. That's all that matters to me, first and foremost. I just want to get from point A to point B safely. And how does this, hiring this initiative, how does this advance that? Why are we even talking about this? Why do we care what the color of the skin is or what other immutable characteristic the pilots may or may not have? I just want to be safe. I want my family to be safe. That's all that matters to me, and it's all that matters to you, and it's all that should matter to United Airlines. And so now I'm looking. I mean, I'm waiting for United to go into the tank. In fact, should probably short that stock. Don't take financial advice from me, but I should probably do that because I can't imagine that they will that this is a good thing for them. If this company is going down this direction, as all major companies are, it can't work because this is not what people want. The job of companies is to provide products and services that people want, that people are attracted to, and this doesn't attract people. This has nothing to do with the services they provide. I'm dying for, this would be something out of like an Ayn Rand novel, but I'm dying for a company to stand up and say, our job is not to be in the social conscience business. Our job is to give you the greatest experience, service, and product that we can provide. We hope you enjoy doing business with us. That's it. That's it. It's not the job of companies to solve social ills, but they are so embarrassed by the fact that they make money that they're so ashamed of making money that they've got to do this virtue signaling thing to a crowd of lunatics who have no appreciation of what it takes to build a company in the first place. So I don't know. This is really discouraging for me as someone who's been a long-time United customer, has flown a lot of miles with them and has a bunch of miles with them. It's really discouraging. I'm going to have to avoid United Airlines. I can't, if this is how they're thinking, how they approach safety, I can't do business with them. I can't avoid them in some circumstances. But I am going to wherever I can because it doesn't do anything. And by the way, flying 1,000,000 miles, it used to give me a little status. It hasn't really done jack for me. Very little. So the status that I enjoy there is really not worth that much. So I don't see a strong reason to stay on. Okay, real quickly, I got to run. I just got dinged on something else. So let's move over to the Pelosi thing. So Pelosi. I suppose we should be happy about this on some level. Pelosi says that she finally acknowledges that there is a border crisis. Before she wasn't admitting it, but here she says, here, listen to this.
We're on a good path at the border under leadership of President Biden, because we were in a very bad situation under the Trump administration. We're on
We're in a good path. They've got people stacked like sardines at the border in unfathomable conditions where they're getting attacked. We're getting attacked, and we're having terrible things happening to them, and they came rushing towards the border because Joe Biden practically sent out an invitation on a silver platter, and she says they're moving in the right direction, but it was Trump that was the problem. You see why I run against this woman? It's the craziest thing. I mean, you think there are better things to do. It's not exactly like a social climbing situation where I'm not, getting invited to certain parties because I'm running against Nancy Pelosi. It's not exactly a way of building, a great friendship or a business community in San Francisco by opposing Nancy Pelosi. So it's not like, great for me to do this, but I can't not do it when she says stuff like that. It's craziness. So anyway, it's just too much. Hey, listen, there was one other thing I was going to talk about today, and I'll just cue this up for maybe a non-live stream thing, or just I'll bring it up in the topics on Monday. But liberals and progressives, they take wealth creation for granted. They don't get it. They think it's just going to last forever. I think they don't really even think about it, because what they really care about is the pursuit of power. The way of controlling resources without having to create value. And in the process of grabbing that power, they destroy capital and they destroy wealth. I mentioned Ayn Rand earlier in this, and she was a big influence on me at a certain point in my life. Really appreciate her. I have issues with her now, but one of the things that she did point out is that it's not guaranteed that one generation is going to be better off than the next. And I want to talk about that in some detail on another show or in a non-live stream that we'll post. But that's got to be continued, because this is an enormous problem. And it's because people like AOC, like Nancy Pelosi, like Joe Biden, they don't understand what real wealth creation is and what it takes to do that. So on that note, let me just say this. Thank you for joining us. Please follow us at Real John Dennis on Twitter and on Instagram, John Dennis Report on Facebook, and John Dennis Report on YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube. Really would appreciate that. And if you don't see me again in a non-live stream, it is posting on YouTube. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. And thanks for joining us today.